Hello, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, March 30th, and I've got picks and predictions for Major League Baseball. I'm going to go through every single game in this video, give you a breakdown of my thoughts and what I'll be betting in each game if I do have a bet for that specific game. Quick recap of yesterday. It was not good. I want to be honest. I want to be transparent when things go poorly, just like when things go well. We're going to, celebrate the good times. The bad times, we got to talk about them too. Yesterday was horrible. I made a lot of mistakes, and I got to own up to those mistakes. I think the slate yesterday was not an easy slate. It was a bunch of heavy favorites, and we got, we were hot, we were on a heater, and got a little bit too excited, got a little bit too aggressive, and made a lot of mistakes out there yesterday. And so I'm, not afraid. I'm not going to run away from it. I'm not going to hide from that. I'm just going to be blatantly honest. I made a lot of mistakes, and we'll come back. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning how to do this, and we'll come back today, and I feel really good about the plays that I have today. I feel like yesterday kind of sharpened me up a little bit, got me back on track of like, okay, these were dumb mistakes that I made, and I think the plays that we have today are much better. So let's get right into it. All right, guys. Yesterday we went 2-7 on 9 plays. Only won 2 out of 9. It was really bad. So for the year, we went into yesterday 15-6. Now we're 17-13 on the year. So a lot of our profit got wiped out yesterday, which is a bummer. But we'll be all right. We're right back at it here today on Monday. So let's get into it, guys. First game on the board. 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. The Minnesota Twins visiting the Kansas City Royals, starting out their series up there in Kansas City. This is a divisional series. Two teams that know each other very well. Simeon Woods Richardson for the Twins, Chris Bubic for the Royals. Bubic was really good last year. ERA in the 2s, whip in the low 1s. He was much better than Simeon Woods Richardson, who actually, Woods Richardson was pretty good at the end of last year. His ERA ended up being in the low 4s, so pretty serviceable guy he was. But I do believe the Royals have the better starting pitcher. I do believe the Royals have the better lineup, more consistent, more reliable lineup, and they definitely have the better bullpen. So I took the Royals money line at -144, and I significantly beat the market. Now I think, at FanDuel, the Royals are now -162. At DraftKings, the Royals are now -156. I got them at -144 yesterday. So I feel really good about that. I beat the market. And that was the same thing with yesterday, too, by the way. I beat the market in a lot of spots. We just ended up losing. So, you know what? Sometimes you're going to have that. You're going to have losing days. It's part of the game. It's part of this. So that's my play for that game. I think the Royals are just a better team overall. I think they're going to win the game. And I feel really good about my position, considering that I've beat the market by almost 20 cents there. So let's move on to the next one. 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be 3:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Texas Rangers at the Baltimore Orioles. Game 1 of this series. Jack Leiter for the Texas Rangers. Chris Bassett for the Baltimore Orioles. I give the Orioles a slight edge in starting pitching here. I think Chris Bassett is more proven, more reliable veteran who's been around for a much longer period of time. Jack Leiter had a pretty solid year last year, but that is the first good year of his career. Still a very young pitcher, figuring things out at the big league level. I just trust Chris Bassett at home a little bit more. I think the Orioles have a better lineup as well. A lot more power, a lot more explosiveness in their lineup. And when it comes down to the bullpens, I think the Orioles also have a bullpen edge. And so this is a very similar situation to the last game. I got the Orioles money line here. I got them at -117. And now at DraftKings, the Orioles are -126. And at FanDuel, the Orioles are now -124. So again, a spot where we beat the market pretty significantly. I feel really good about the position that I have there. And yeah, it's the Baltimore Orioles money line, -117. All right, so moving on to the next play, or the next game, I should say. Pirates-Reds, 3:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Braxton Ashcraft for the Pirates, Chase Burns for the Reds. I don't have a bet in this game. I'm going to pass on this game. I didn't think there was any value at all here. I think overall the starting pitchers are pretty equal. Maybe a slight edge to Burns just because of the raw talent that he possesses. When I look at the lineups, I think they're pretty close to even. Maybe the Reds have another slight edge there. And then it comes down to the bullpens. I think they're also pretty even. And so, the Reds at minus, it was yesterday, it was like minus 120, 125. I just didn't think there was any value there. And now, they've taken even more money. So people are betting on the Reds. And it makes me want to take a position on the Pirates at the plus, 115 or whatever. Because I think that this game is really coin flippy. I think it can go either way. And so I'd like to take the side at the plus money there. But I'm just going to pass. I don't want to get involved in too many games today. We made that mistake yesterday. And I only want to get involved if I'm really confident in my read. So in this one, I don't really feel too confident either way. Again, I think the starting pitching matchup is very close, maybe slight edge to Cincinnati. Lineups very close, maybe slight edge to Cincinnati. And then bullpens, man, my computer. This thing's going to explode. Wow. Wow, that's scary. Did you guys hear that? My computer's about to explode, dude. I need a new computer. The fan is overheating or something in there. I don't know what it is. I'm not a computer guy, but wow, that's horrible. And it's also a shame because I'm trying to do a video here and we got a computer like spazzing out, turning off, about to explode in the middle of it. I got to turn it off to try to calm it down. It's annoying. Okay, you know what? It should only be about a 10 to 15 second delay. Just bear with me, please. Maybe it'll be about a minute delay, a little bit longer, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't think there's really an edge there in the Pirates-Reds game. So I'm not going to be getting involved. So far, Royals money line minus 144 for over a unit. Orioles money line minus 117 for over a unit, and we've beat the market significantly in both of those spots. So I feel good about those. So we're trying to get this computer back on. It's slowly awakening. All right, we're back. Where were we? Okay. Hold on, I want to see actually where the Orioles line and the Royals line are at Pinnacle. So at Pinnacle, the Royals are minus 161. Pinnacle is the sharpest book, one of the sharpest books out there. So we're beating Pinnacle's line on the Royals. We're beating Pinnacle's line on the Orioles. Orioles are at minus 119. So I feel pretty darn good about my positions there. Let's move on to the next game. It's the Pirates and Reds, no play for me. Nationals, Phillies, no play for me. Taijuan Walker for the Phillies, Foster Griffin for the Nationals. Somehow the Nationals beat the Cubs on the road in that series. That was a shocker to me. Did not see that coming at all. And, Taijuan Walker last year, he was pretty serviceable. This Phillies team, pretty disappointing for them to drop a series at home to the Rangers. Very surprised that happened as well. Luzardo did not pitch well yesterday. But Foster Griffin, he spent 3 years in Japan. So he's coming back from Japan. This is his first year back. He's a lefty against this Phillies offense. It would only be Phillies for me. I think the Phillies are going to win the game. But the price is a little bit too expensive. Minus 170. I don't think there's any value. So I'm good. I passed on that game. Just a pass for me. And then another pass coming up. We got the White Sox against the Marlins in Miami. Davis Martin for the White Sox, and then the padlock for the Marlins, Chris Paddock. When I looked at this game earlier, I really wanted to take the Marlins. I didn't know why they were only minus 125, minus 130. And actually, I think I can still get that, but I'm not going to do it. And the reason is I just, when I break down the game, although they've taken a lot of money, the Marlins have now gotten pretty juiced up on DraftKings. But anyways, just looking at the game, I think the Marlins have a slight edge in terms of lineup consistency. The White Sox have more of a home run upside to their lineup, but the Marlins put the ball in play more. They've got more speed. I think the Marlins, in terms of starting pitching, actually, I think it's pretty equal. I think Davis Martin was very solid last year, and Chris Paddock, he was pretty bad last year. ERA up above 5. He's a longtime veteran, but he was bad last year. So I think the White Sox, could get to him potentially. When you look at the bullpens, I think the Marlins do have a bullpen advantage, but does it warrant, is it enough? Is a slight lineup edge and then a bullpen edge enough to lay minus 127 on them? I mean, it all depends how bad we think the White Sox are. And the White Sox did make some additions to their team. They probably should have beat the Brewers in that game 3 of that series. They just imploded. So yeah, I'm not going to be betting on this. I do lean towards the Marlins. But yeah, no play for me there. Rockies, Blue Jays. Colorado Rockies at the Toronto Blue Jays, 4:07 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tomoyuki Sugano for the Colorado Rockies up against Cody Ponce for the Toronto Blue Jays. Sugano, first year with the Rockies this season, coming over from Baltimore. He struggled last year. ERA was in the mid-4s. Did pitch better towards the end of the year. Cody Ponce comes from the KBO, and he dominated the KBO. Had an ERA under 2. Was the best pitcher in the KBO, I believe, last season. Looking at this game, it's pretty cut and dry. I think the Blue Jays have a significant edge in terms of offense. They've got a significant edge in terms of bullpens. And then you look at the starting pitching matchup, I think that, look, Sugano was a guy that I loved to fade all year last year. I think the Blue Jays will explode on him today. And the Colorado Rockies offense on the road is something I always like to fade as well. So I think it's a spot where Cody Ponce can get off to a really good start to his season here with the Blue Jays. So I think the Blue Jays are going to win this game easily. I took them the minus 1.5 runs at minus 120 for 1.1 units, and I feel very good about that. Pinnacle now has that line at minus 124, so we're beating that line, against one of the sharpest books out there. So feel good about it. Moving on. Sacramento Athletics visiting the Atlanta Braves. The Athletics 0-3 this year. They just got swept to start out the season. The Braves 2-1. They beat the Royals in that 3-game series. It's going to be Jacob Lopez against Bryce Elder. So it looks like the A's may have had a change in starting pitcher. They were supposed to send somebody else up there. Let's take a look at this. That's very interesting. So Jacob Lopez is a lefty starting pitcher. It's odd. Let's see if that's actually true. Interesting. So it's going to be Jacob Lopez. It was supposed to be... What the heck? When I played this yesterday, it was somebody else. Yeah, so Aaron Savali was listed as the starter in this game yesterday when I took this play. So unfortunately, he got scratched. And now it's going to be Jacob Lopez going up against the Braves. So it's Lopez for the A's going up against Bryce Elder for the Braves. I'm on the over 9.5 here at plus 100, but now that Aaron Savali is not pitching for the A's, this changes things a bit. And unfortunately, I got a bad number there because that thing went down to 9. So yeah, unfortunately, it's impossible to predict a pitching scratch like that. So I can't be too hard on myself, but definitely disappointing, to say the least. Yeah, I just thought we were going to see runs with Savali and Bryce Elder on the mound. I like both offenses a lot. I'm really high on the Braves offense this year, especially at home, and I'm definitely high on the Athletics offense as well this year. So we're on the over 9.5 there at plus 100. A little bit disappointed to see it drop down to 9 with the news that Aaron Savali will not be pitching for the A's in this game. Let's move on. All right, but yeah, the play there for the Athletics Braves is the over. I'm on the over at plus 100 odds in that one. Angels at the Cubs. The Angels are 2-2. They split their 4-game series with the Houston Astros. The Cubs 1-2. They lost their series to the Nationals at home. It's going to be Ryan Johnson for the Angels, one of our top pitching prospects coming up, against Edward Cabrera for the Cubs. They just traded for him. They traded Owen Casey, one of their top prospects, to bring in Cabrera. And so this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Johnson looked good in spring. There's a great value on the Angels in this game at plus 163. Cabrera is a really good pitcher. I like him a lot. High velo, nasty stuff. But this Angels lineup has been hitting. They scored a lot of runs against the Astros in that series. I'm high on the Angels offense. I really think that this offense is very quality. I think they're going to be a top 10 offense in Major League Baseball this year. And I think they can compete with the Cubs. And I think this offense for the Angels is about equal with the Cubs, right now at least. So you look at the starting pitching. Yeah, the Cubs probably have a better starting pitcher. But the way they're playing right now and the way the Angels are playing right now, I think plus 160 is too good to pass up on. I really do. Angels are playing competitive baseball. They're competing in every game. I think Johnson keeps them in this game. And I think the offense gets to Cabrera for a few runs. I'm not sold on the Cubs bullpen at all. I think they've got a couple of good high leverage arms, but other than that, it's pretty bad. So I'm not sold on them. So give me the Angels money line at plus 160 there. Halos, light that baby up. Let's go. All right. Rays, Brewers. Nick Martinez for the Tampa Bay Rays against Kyle Harrison for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Rays have really struggled against left-handed pitching going back to last year. They struggled against Matthew Liberator in the series against the Cardinals. He's a left-handed pitcher. He threw a gem, actually. I think he only gave up like 1 run in 6 innings or something like that. Nick Martinez was horrible last year. He was really bad. He was basically a trash can. So you put all this together. You got the Brewers, who are one of the best teams in baseball, especially at home. They're 3-0 this year, covering the spread in every game. And then you got the Rays, who are 1-2, who just lost a series to the Cardinals. The Rays have one of their worst starting pitching options on the mound, and the Rays struggle against lefties. Milwaukee hits the ball very well at home, and Milwaukee also has a much better bullpen. It's not even close in that category. So I think I got a really good number here. I got the Milwaukee Brewers at minus 138 for 1.15 units. So a pretty big bet for me. And now if you compare that line, to DraftKings, it's minus 149 on DraftKings right now. It is on FanDuel. It is minus 152. So that's another spot where we have significantly beat the market. Again, feeling good about that play a lot. So yeah, Milwaukee Brewers money line minus 138. They're just a far better team, and the price is right. The price is definitely right here. Okay, moving on. Mets Cardinals. I've got a play here. Clay Holmes for the Mets against Chris Leahy for the St. Louis Cardinals. I believe that. So I'm high on this Mets offense. I think the Mets offense is a juggernaut. I mean, it is ridiculous. You look at the name value in that lineup, and you look at the power, the raw hitting ability. It is a thing of beauty, and it's going to be fun to watch this year. I think the Mets are going to get to Chris Leahy pretty significantly in this game. Is it Chris Leahy? Because I know Christine Leahy is a sports reporter. What's this guy's name? I don't want to get the name wrong. It's Kyle Leahy. I'm sorry. I think I'm going to get to Kyle Leahy. Yeah, Christine Leahy is some sports reporter. Okay, so Kyle Leahy versus Clay Holmes. I think the Mets offense gets to Kyle Leahy. I do. Clay Holmes, good pitcher, but he's gettable. And the Cardinals at home, I think, can contribute to this total. The Cardinals have been hitting the ball very well so far to start the year. They scored a bunch of runs in that series against the Rays. I think the Cardinals bullpen is terrible, by the way. So I think, once we get past Kyle Leahy, I think the Mets offense is just going to keep scoring. So I took the over 9 here at plus 100. I think both teams can score runs in this spot. The Cardinals offense at home has shown the ability to score runs, and the Mets offense is just a juggernaut. So over 9 plus 100, I like it. Right now, the total for this game at Pinnacle, the Sharp book, it is at over 9 plus 104. So we're right around the same value there. That makes me feel pretty good. We're not beating the market, but we're close on that one. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Boston Red Sox at the Houston Astros. Ranger Suarez making his Red Sox debut, going against Lance McCullers Jr. for the Houston Astros. And in this one, again, I love both offenses. The Red Sox offense, up and down, love it. Great hitters, and they should be able to do damage against Lance McCullers, who had 4 walks in 8 innings in spring. Last year, he had an ERA in the 6s. I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. He has trouble with command, and I think the Red Sox offense could explode today. As far as Ranger Suarez against the Astros offense, that's not a good matchup for Ranger Suarez. He struggles with right-handed bats, and the Astros are going to load that lineup up with righties. The only lefty that's probably going to be in there is going to be Yordan Alvarez, and he hits lefties very well. So I think that the Astros can definitely score on Ranger Suarez, especially Suarez being on the road. He's a lot less consistent on the road. Give me the over 8.5 in this game. I think we beat the market here too. Let me find my value. I got over 8.5 at minus 108, and right now on Pinnacle, over 8.5 is at minus 116. So another game where we significantly beat the market. Feeling very good about that situation that we're in. So over 8.5 in the Red Sox at the Astros. Giants Padres. I am going to pass on this game. It's Landon Roop against Walker Buehler. Both pitchers are really bad, in my opinion. Both pitchers are probably equally bad, in my opinion. The Giants' offense is horrible. They are extremely anemic. Scored 1 run in 3 games so far. Padres' offense has not been much better. They've also been very quiet to this point. And then the bullpens, I do think the Padres have a better bullpen, but can I justify a minus 120 money line bet on the Padres with Walker Buehler on the mound? No, I can't. So I passed on that game. I thought about maybe taking the over with 2 really bad pitchers, but then you got the Padres bullpen that could lock it down, and both offenses have been so bad. So I'm just going to pass on that game. I don't like that game at all. Okay, this is probably the best game on the board, the next game, and this is a big one. Yankees Mariners in Seattle. Ryan Weathers for the New York Yankees, Luis Castillo for the Seattle Mariners. I give the Mariners a slight edge in starting pitching. I think Castillo is a more proven veteran over the test of time, if you will. Ryan Weathers did have a pretty good year last year with the Marlins, but he's going to have to go up against a tough Seattle lineup that's been scoring runs, by the way. Seattle's been scoring runs at home, and I think they get to Ryan Weathers here in this spot. Meanwhile, the Yankees, they've been scoring a lot of runs too. The Yankees offense, we know they're one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball year in and year out. I trust them to get a few off of Luis Castillo. The total is really low, 7.5. And that's where I went with this. Very interesting, because in this ballpark, I usually don't take overs in this ballpark. T-Mobile Park, it's going to be 55 degrees, cold weather. Not a hitter's park. It's the most pitcher-friendly park in Major League Baseball, but the overs have cashed so far this season. Over is 3-1 this year at T-Mobile Park. So really interesting game. I took the over. I'm going to take a chance on the over 7.5 runs in this Yankees-Mariners game. I put a unit on it at minus 115, and the market disagreed with me. So we lost a little bit of value on that one. I just don't like the situation for either starting pitcher going up against these lineups. I think both lineups are going to be scoring runs today. So I'm on the over there in Yankees against Mariners. Over 7.5 is my play. Tigers D-backs, I ended up passing on this game. I thought about putting a half unit on the Tigers money line, but, discipline won out in this one. The way I handicap this, I think the Tigers may have a slight edge in starting pitching. It's Justin Verlander against Michael Soroka. Verlander for the Tigers, Soroka for the Diamondbacks. I think a slight edge goes to the Tigers there in terms of starting pitching. I think Tigers also have a better bullpen, much better bullpen. But then the lineups, I'd probably favor the D-backs lineup at home. I probably would. So for me, this game's really pretty much a pick'em. I thought about taking the Tigers at plus money, but I don't think there's any positive expected value there at all. So decided to just stay away. I think it's a game where the D-backs could potentially win. They're not going to want to go 0-4. I could see them winning that game. So finally, we're to the last game of the day. 7:10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time start. Parker Messick for the Cleveland Guardians up against Roki Sasaki for the LA Dodgers. So both of these pitchers are in tough spots here. Okay, Roki has been horrible. I mean, go look at the numbers in spring training. This guy was terrible. Giving up 4 runs, giving up 5 runs, walking a bunch of batters. He's walked more guys than he struck out. He should not be a starting pitcher. He should be a relief pitcher. He does not fit in the starting role, and I think we're going to see that today. I think the Guardians are going to make him work, and the Guardians are going to score some runs off of Roki Sasaki. Book that, okay? Parker Messick, a lefty, going into this ballpark. This is probably going to be the toughest start of his career that he's ever had. Don't think he's ever been to Dodger Stadium yet, and this is a completely different animal when you go to Chavez Ravine and face the Dodgers in LA. I think the Dodgers, of course, are going to score runs as usual, and so give me the over 8.5 runs here. I think Sasaki definitely lets the Guardians score a few. I think Messick, of course, is going to get hit up by the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers offense will probably score, close to their usual 5-6 runs per game. So over 8.5 there in Dodgers Guardians, and I want to see the value that I got. I got minus 113 on that at DraftKings. The over 8.5 is now, it's actually over 9 now at plus 100. At FanDuel, it is over 8.5 minus 120. So feel pretty good about my position there. I feel like we've beat the market there as well. So I feel really good. We're beating the market pretty much everywhere. We've had a few spots where we didn't, but closing line value is good. It's a sign that long-term profit is on the way. So I just want to recap all the picks for you guys, all right? Royals money line, minus 144 for 1.15 units. They're going to beat the Minnesota Twins today. They've got the advantage across the board, okay? Baltimore Orioles money line, minus 117. They're going to beat the Texas Rangers today at home. I think the Orioles have the edge in terms of starting pitching, lineup, and bullpen. I think they're the better team overall. Give me the Orioles money line. Give me the Orioles money line. Pass on Reds Pirates. Pass on Nationals Phillies. Pass on White Sox Marlins. Head to Toronto. Blue Jays minus 1.5 runs, minus 120, where we beat the market there. And again, Blue Jays have the advantage everywhere. They've got a better starting pitcher, they've got the better offense, and they've got the better bullpen. Blue Jays minus 1.5. A's Braves, we're on the over 9.5 runs there. Pitching change for the A's since last night, so we did not get a good number here. Tread lightly on that one, but I think both offenses are really good, and both offenses can certainly produce in this spot. So over 9.5 at plus 100 in the A's and the Braves. Angels Cubs. I think the Angels are playing a very competitive baseball right now, and I think that they can compete on the road with the Chicago Cubs in this spot. I thought there was a lot of value on the Angels, so I took the Angels money line at plus 163 for 0.7 units. Rays Brewers. Brewers money line, minus 138 for 1.15 units. This team is going to beat the Rays today. I like the starting pitching matchup for the Brewers. I think they have the better starting pitcher. I think they've got the better offense, and they've got the better bullpen. Give me the Brewers money line. Mets Cardinals, over 9 runs, plus 100. I like both offenses. I think the Cardinals can contribute to overs when they're at home. And the Mets offense is a juggernaut. Cardinals bullpen is one of the worst. Add all these things together, we should see a lot of runs in a pretty warm day out there in St. Louis. It's gonna be today in St. Louis. It is gonna be 81 degrees, 15 mile per hour winds blowing out. I wish I would have mentioned that in my breakdown of that game, but I mentioned it now. 81 degrees, 15 mile per hour winds blowing out at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Okay. And then moving on, Red Sox Astros over 8.5 runs. I got it at minus 113. It's now up to minus 120 in some spots, so we beat the market there. I think it's a tough matchup for Ranger Suarez on the road against the Astros. And I think the Red Sox lineup can definitely get to a guy in Lance McCullers Jr. that struggled badly last season and early on in spring. So give me the over 8.5 there in the Houston Astros hosting the Boston Red Sox. Giants Padres was a complete pass for me. Had nothing there. Yankees Mariners, we took the over 7.5 runs at minus 115. The market disagreed with us here. We did lose some value on this play. I think that both offenses can get to the starting pitchers in this spot, and I thought the total was really low at 7.5 for two teams that have very good offenses that are going to be some of the best offenses in the American League this year. So over 7.5, minus 115 there in Seattle. Tigers Diamondbacks was a straight pass for me. And then last but not least, Guardians at the LA Dodgers. We went with the over 8.5 total runs at minus, what did we get? What was our value? We got minus 113. And yeah, we beat the market pretty significantly in that spot there. So feel really good about that one. We beat the market pretty much everywhere today. So let's go and get some profit, okay? Yesterday was a bad day. We're going to bounce back today with a big, big profitable day. Thanks for watching. Let me know your comments. Let me know your picks and predictions in the comments below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I like to have the discussion. And I'll see you back here tomorrow when we break down the games for the next day in Major League Baseball. Until then, have a great Monday, everybody.